Assalamu alaikum YouTube. This is Said Mirza. In today's video, we will be continuing on with our exploration of chapter 2. We're going to be looking at verses 10 through 13. And again, the goal of this video is to just get you comfortable with pronunciation of the letters in the Arabic language to make words, and also to identify the various letters that comprise the word. So, God willing, we're going to be continuing on with this series for a while until I feel that you've mastered pronunciation and identifying the various letters, and then we'll move on to the mechanics of the grammar of the Arabic language. So let's begin. This is part 6, and we're going to start from chapter 2, verse 10. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. في قلوبهم مرض. في قلوبهم مرض. And the literal translation is in their hearts disease. And Brother Gerrans translates this as in their hearts is a disease. My translations are the literal translations are from myself, and the other translation is Sam Gerrans, which can be downloaded for free from Qur'anite.com. I provided a link below. Okay, let's look at the breakdown of this. So fi means in. That's just the way it is. You're gonna have to learn this one. Next one is maradan, and this one is real simple. Mim ra za. And it just simply means disease. The transliteration is meme MR capital D. If you're confused about this transliteration piece, it's because we covered the Arabic alphabets in the first part of this series. So you can go back and review the first part of the series, and you'll see the Arabic alphabets and their transliteration and their pronunciation. Just wanted to point this out, that this is the most simple form of the word. This is a third person past tense masculine, and that's usually this is the basic form, sort of the default form for all words in the Arabic language, and the root is the same as well. You see this these two apostrophes at the at the end. These are called dhammas, and basically this makes it a nominative word. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that this is the default word. So if you see a word in this form, that means that it's been stripped down of pretty much everything, and all it signifies is that it's a past tense, masculine, third person. Um, that's how the Arabic is set up. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say about that. Okay, let's proceed on with the second part of this verse. Fazadahum Allahu maradan. And so this is fa, za, alif, dal, ha, mim, alif, lam, ha, mim, ra, da, one. Da alif, sorry. Okay, the little translation is fazadahum is so increase them, Allahu God, and maradan disease. So God increases them in diseases, how Brother Gerrans translates this. Now, something interesting you notice that this maradan is pretty much the same as the maradan here. It's got the same component, mim, ra, dawat, but instead of, just finishing off with two apostrophes, dhammas, you have the fathas. These are called the fathas, the one at the top, these two lines, and then you have alif. And so this basically means that now it's jumped from a nominative to a genitive clause. Don't worry about what nominative genitive is. What's important is that we realize that basically now this is being treated a little differently as opposed to this. And you can see it in the translation as well. You can see here it's saying in their hearts is a disease. So the subject is the hearts, okay, and this is the disease, okay. So this is basically the focus of this sentence, uh, and here the focus changes. It's God who is now the active agent. Fazadahum Allahu maradan. See, and I told you this in part two, I believe, that if there is a dhamma at at the end of a word, that's usually signifies that that's the active agent. That's the doing part of the sentence. So we see here that this is doing. The God is the one who's doing this. He's the active agent, and this is Maradan is the object on which God is working on. So that's why you see that shift. The focus has changed. It's God who is doing it. So God. So that's why the Brother Gans translation is, so God increases them in disease. Hoping you can see that. Anyway, this will become clear on in later videos. I'm not going to translate most of this because it's already been done. The only one is fazadahum, fa, za, alif, dal, ha, mim. And I broke this down for you. And zad is actually the root za, ya, dal. Now, again, this is one of those things where the root is not evident in the word itself. And I'll just give you a quick tip here. Usually, if there's an alif, that usually ends up causing that. So you see how this is za, ya, dal. What happened is that the ya got replaced by an alif, and that usually happens. So again, this is one of those things that the more you encounter this, the more your mental picture develops, and you'll see what's happening. You'll intuitively know what the roots are. If you spend a lot of time with the Quran and actually looking at roots for words, then it becomes second nature. So if you can't find a root for a word, usually what you can do is you can try substituting different letters. Usually a good example is that the alif, usually try substituting that for something else, because most of the time this alif is sort of added instead of the real root. So that's all we're gonna discuss about roots for now. The fa is so, and hum, as I mentioned in previous videos, is them. And if it was kum, kaf, meme, it would be you. I hope that that's something that you remember from my previous videos. Okay, moving forward, we have the third part of this verse. Walahum azabun alim bima kanu yakzibun. Uh, this is the waw, lam, ha, mim, walahum, walahum, adab, adabun. That's usually how to say it. Ain, dal, alif, ba, and this is alimun, I alif, and this has the ain at the beginning. Um, I wouldn't worry about that. Lam, ya, mim, ba, mim, alif, kaf, alif, noon, waw, alif, ya, ka, dal, ba, waw, noon. Okay, and so the literal translation is walahum, and to them. Adabun, punishment. Alimun, painful. Bima, with what. Kanu, they were. Yaktibun, lying. Okay, I'm just gonna break this down for you here because I haven't really done it for all of these because we've already covered these. Walahum, why as always means and. Lahum, this hum we already looked at earlier. It's the same hum as this one, so this is them. And la, I already told you, means to. Okay, so and to them. Adabun, adab just means punishment, and the roots are ain, dal, ba. And alim is we're gonna break this down for you later. Okay, bima, ba, mim, alif, ba. This ba piece at the beginning, if it's joined, it means with. Is in Bismillah, Bism, it was with God, with the name of God. So here it's ba is with. Mim, alif means what. Ma means what. We've already gone through this, by the way. And the next two I do break down for you. So let's look at these. Okay, alim, alif, lam, mim is the root. Uh, Again, see, this is not that straightforward because you have the ya. Again, a good rule of thumb is that you can usually ignore ya, or it's usually ya is being used for some other root. In this case, the roots are all present, but ya is just something that is in there. So wow and ya is always their suspect. You can't trust those. You have to look a little bit closer to find out the roots. Okay, here we have alif lam mim. This is the root, means painful. And the next one is kanu. Okay, now this one is an interesting one. You're gonna see this all over the Quran, and basically what it is that it's signifying sort of like, um, you know, past tense. Kind of past perfect tense, more on the lines of the imperfect. So it's more like something that they were doing, because as I mentioned earlier, Arabic doesn't have as many tenses as English does. It only really has two basic tenses: the past tense and the present tense. And the past tense is sort of the default for all words, which we looked at for Madadan. And the present tense is usually signified by putting a ya at the beginning. And so what this does is, if this is included, what it does is that it makes it something that they were doing, something that was in process. Um, so that's how it's working. So that's why I translated this as they were. Again, these tenses do get complicated, and a lot of times translators have to use their own discretion to figure out how do they translate a certain tense. Because, as I mentioned, in English you have a sentence, and that sentence will have a definite tense, whereas in Arabic you have a word with its own tense. So if you combine words with different tenses, then you kind of have a problem, because you in English you have to render it in a specific tense, whereas the Arabic is rendering it, as a past tense for one word and then a present tense for the other word. So when you join them together, you have a problem. So that's a lot of times you're going to see translators wrestle with that. Okay, so here this is they were, and again, this plural part comes from the wow alif at the end. That's just kind of standard how it works. And so kana, it was were, okay, or was, it could be was as well. Yakdibun. Now this is the interesting one. Ya kaf dual ba wow noon. Okay, this one, the root is straightforward, is kaf dal ba, which means lie, or liar. Now, wow noon obviously signifies that it's a plural, so I translated it as plural. Yeah, at the beginning means it's a present tense. Okay, so it's a present tense, as in they're lying. But because you have the kanu, it becomes they were lying. Okay, if there was no kanu here, therefore this would be and to them painful punishment for uh, them lying. Okay, like that's something they're doing right now. But because it's a kanu at the in before yakzibun, then it translates into something that they were doing, as in past tense, even though this is present tense. But because of that, this turns it into sort of a past imperfect tense. If you're losing me on tenses, don't worry about it. We're gonna go to tenses later down the line. But I just wanted to show you, try to introduce to you now some of the mechanics of the Arabic grammar as well, because I think it's important. Okay, next verse, chapter 2, verse 11. Wa iza, wa iza qila lahum la tufsidu fi al-ard. Fil Aldi. That's how they will usually pronounce it. Again, the Arabs have a specific way of pronouncing it. I don't really agree with, kind of enforcing their accents and, their specific way of. Honestly, to me, it doesn't make any sense. As long as you can pronounce it and you understand what the words mean, that's far more important than trying to pronounce it the right way, whatever that means. Okay, wa means and. You already went through that one. Iza, this is interesting. I see this one a lot too, means when. Okay, I think I'm jumping ahead here. First, I should break this down for you. Wa, alif, dwal, alif, qaf, ya, lam, lam, ha, mim, lam, alif, ta, fa, sin, dal, waw, alif, fa, ya, alif, lam, and then there's another alif, ra, and then uh, za. Okay, let's break this down. Let's translate this literally. Wa'iza, and when qila, it is said, lahum, to them, la, no, tussidu, you corrupt, fi, in, al ardi, the earth. And Brother Gerrans translates this as, and when it is said to them, work not corruption in the earth. Let's look at the breakdown here. Wa'iza, and when. Ida it just means when. Um, yeah, we're just gonna leave it at that. Qila, qaf, ya, lam. Again, see ya. This is always suspect. When ya shows up, that usually means that that's not really the root. That's just a general rule of thumb. Qaf, waw, lam is the root. Qawl, and qawl just by itself would mean, if it was just qaf, waw, lam, it would be said, and it would be implied that it's referring to a third person masculine, singular. So in English you would translate qaf waw lam qawl as he said. But since it's qil, it means it is said. And we're gonna look over these different forms of qala, qalu, qila. There's many different variations on this root. But for now, let's just leave it at this. It is said. Tufsidu, fa sin dal, and that the root means corruption. And waw alif, like I mentioned, usually means it's a plural, so we have a plural here. This ta at the beginning means it's addressing someone. Um, it's a second person, you. And you see how here it's ya at the beginning, and this was a third person, and now it's referencing them specifically, as in, they're it's being addressed to them. You don't cause corruption in the earth. You don't cause corruption in the earth. Okay. Fi just means in. I broke this down for you. It's not even necessary. You're going to see this pretty much like this across the Quran. Al ardi, this just means the earth. Alif lam is the definite article. Alif lam za means earth. And so that's that. Okay, moving on to the second part of this verse. قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون. قاف ألف لام واو ألف قالوا ألف نون ميم ألف إنما. You see the shadda means there were two noons. If the shadda shows up, you have to kind of give it a little bit of stop. So that's why I said innama instead of inma. That's how it would be without that shadda. But because there's a shadda here, we're gonna go with innama. Nahnu, noon, ha, noon, muslihun, mim, swad, lam, ha, wow, noon. You can always go and look at this Roman uh, script here that a lot of websites use this actually, and it's actually pretty good. So you can see how it's close to what how you would say it. قالوا إنما نحن مصلحون مصلحون. Actually, that's how it should be because you have the fatha at the end. Okay, قالوا means they say. إنما only, except. This is usually how it's used, but only like sort of a um, it gives it more of a. In Arabic, there's a lot of words that give it more of an oomph, more of a sort of exaggeration. Um, like exclamation marks in English. That's similarly how this is working. They're not. They're just not. They're not only saying we are reformers. They're saying they're saying no, we're reformers. You see, they're insisting on it. We are but reformers. So this is the but piece of it, and I translate this literally as only. Brother Gerrans does but here. Nahnu, we, muslihun, reformers. Brother Gerrans translation, they say we are but those who do right. Okay, now qalu, we already looked at this one here. Qila is the same root. Qaf wa lam. But here what it's signifying is that it's because of the wow, it's a plural, and qalu means that they are saying this. Okay, so they're active agents. Qalu, and you can see that there's a dhamma here too, which means that they're the active agents. They say plural. Okay, innama, only, but that's all there is to it really. This is how it's used across the Quran. Nahnu, noon, ha, noon is the breakdown, means we. Complicated way of saying we, but that's how it is. Muslihun. Uh, okay, now this one we have the root here, swad lam ha, which means it's a reformer, or salah salih means someone who's doing right or is righteous. Now, wow noon means it's a plural. And remember when I was telling you about the meme in front of certain words, like we already looked at muttaqeen. And muttaqeen was those of prudent fear. So this is one of those state words, which basically it's signifying their state. They're saying we are reformers, as in we're the ones, we're not the corruptors, we're the good guys. So that's how usually this meme is used here. Okay, next one, chapter 2, verse 12. Allah innahum, Allah innahum humul mufsiduna. Allah. Alif Lam Alif, Innahum, Alif Noon, Ha Mim, again the Shadda, Innahum, and this one is Humu, Ha Mim, Al Mufsidun, Alif Lam Mim, Fa Sin Dal Waw Noon. Uh, okay, Allah means in truth, Innahum, they, Hum, again they, Al Mufsidun, the corruptors. Now, this is not a typo, guys. This is how it is. Because what's happening is here you have the home here, and then you have the home here, and the only difference is that you put an alif noon at the beginning. And I mentioned, I think it was in part three that I mentioned that when alif noon shows up in the beginning of a word, in what it's usually ignored in the translation. Sometimes translators just end up using verily or without a doubt or something of that sort. Again, this is one of those expression things where inna is giving you sort of like an oomph. So what it's doing is this in the home is giving it a force, and that's why it would be they exclamation, they the corruptors. So that's how it's working. This is just the way Arabic works. It's every language has its quirks, and this is one of the quirks in the Arabic language. It's not really repeating it, but at the same time, if we were to render it in English, yeah, it would seem like it's being repeated. But the Gerrans translates this: in truth, it is they who are the workers of corruption. So that's how he's translated, because what he's done is he's said, it is they. This is the in the home piece, and then he says who. That's the home piece, and al mufsidun, the workers of corruption. That's how he's chosen to do it. Um, so it's really a matter of the translator's personality, honestly. Okay, Allah, in truth, alif lam alif. um Sometimes it's translated as verily. So this is how Brother Gans is doing it. Innahum, alif noon ha mim. Like I said, alif noon is ignored, and so you have the home piece of it, which is they, and then you have al mufsidun. Okay, alif lam mim fa sin dal waw noon. Al is means it's a definite article, da, and fa sin dal is the root, which means corruption. Waw noon means it's a plural, and meme is the state. So they're the corruptors. Al mufsidun. This is the same as the one we saw here, muslihun, which was reformers. If there was an alif lam at the beginning here, that would be the reformers. Okay, moving on, we have walakin la yash'arun. Wow, lam, kaf, noon, lam, alif, ya, sheen, ain, ra, wow, noon. Walakin, walakin la yash'urun. And lakin, but la, no, yash'urun, they perceive. But again, translates this as, but they perceive not. Okay, let's break this down here. Lakin is this is something you're gonna have to learn. This shows up in many places in the Quran. Just simply means but. Yash'arun, ya. Again, this is third person. Sheen ayn ra, that means perception, perceive, and waw noon means it's a plural. So at least this piece of it, you should be getting the first person and the third person. I'm sorry, the second person and the third person and the plural and singular. Okay, moving on, chapter 2, verse 13. وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ وَإِذَا قِيلَ لَهُمْ آمِنُوا كَمَا آمَنَ النَّاسِ. Okay. Wow, alif, dal, alif, qaf, ya, lam, ha, mim, ain, alif, mim, noon, wow, alif, kaf, mim, alif, ain, alif, mim, noon, alif, lam, noon, alif, sin. I know this is quite a long verse, long part of the verse here, but um, I'm actually following Brother Gerrans. Um, I think it's genius what he's done. What he's done is basically he's broken down the verses into lines, so it makes it a little bit more easier to handle a piece of it. And this is how he's done it, and logically it makes sense. Okay, so this is wa is and, is ida when. We already looked at ida. Qila, it is said. This is again a repeat. Lahum, to them, repeat. Aminu, believe. Okay, kama, like what. Amana, believed. Annasu, the people. And Brother Gans translates this as when it is said to them, believe as mankind believes. Okay, let's break this down. Aminu, uh, the root uh, the root is alif mim nun, and this is actually a specific form of a verb. We're gonna get into forms later down the line, but basically, if it shows up in this sort of um, format where you have an ain at the beginning and alif and a waw and alif at the end, that means it's a specific format. And what that means is that it's a command. It's a command to a second person, and because there's a waw alif at the end, that means it's a plural. So this is actually a command. Believe. Kama. Okay, kaf, mim, alif. Kaf always means like, and ma, we already know it means what, so like what. Amana, and this is the same root, alif, mim, noon, believed. This is the stripped down version, basically a third person past masculine, believed. Anas, alif, lam, noon, alif, seen. You have alif lam at the beginning, means it's a definite, the, and this one is tricky. The root is alif noon seen, but the way it shows up here is actually the noon is in front. I don't know why that is. That's just the way it is, but that's the root. Ins, which means people or mankind. Okay, moving on. Chapter 2, verse 13. I think this is the third part. No, okay, fourth part of this. Okay. Qalu. Qaf, alif, lam, waw, alif. Anominu, alif, noon, waw, mim, noon. Kama, kaf, mim, alif. Ain, alif, mim, noon. Alif, lam, sin, fa, ha, alif, ain. Qalu anominu kama amana sufha. Literal translation is qalu, they say, anu'minu, we believe. If this shows up at the beginning, you see the alif with the hamza. It's actually an ain, but now because it's showing up like this, it's called the hamza. Okay, now so when this shows up, this means it's an interrogative particle, as in it's a question. So that's how why we're rendering this with a question mark. Uh, so this is a question they're asking. Anu'minu, should we believe? Kama, like them, like what, again, I'm trying to be consistent, so I kept the meme alif as what, whereas here now it would mean like they would be saying, they say we believe like whom, like who. Amana, alif meme noon, this is believed. This, we looked at this before, showed up here. It's the same as here. Amana, believed. And as-sufha, we'll look at this later. Basically, this is an interesting verse, because what's happening is that you're seeing that a lot of these the things we looked at the past, they're all coming back and it's being repeated. And we're going to look at qal, because qal is here in just this exercise here. You saw qala, you saw qila, you said you saw qalu. Okay, and there's actually more. Qila. See, there's three different forms of the same root. Qaf, waw, lam. So you can do a lot of things with the Arabic language, as in changing the letters around, but the core remains the same. Anyway, so qalu means that it's a third party. It's a it's a plural and a third person. So that's why it's they say. Uh, a nominu here. I broke this down for you. Root is alif mim noon, and because of this at the beginning, it's a question mark. And belief is that the core root piece of it, and we. Now the we is coming from this noon. You see this? I know too this is not intuitive, but we'll just just notice that there's a noon at the beginning, and the noon usually signifies a we. Remember that nahnu we looked at? Okay, here you see that nahnu. This noon is actually the we part of it. So just wanted to point that out, because now we're looking at first person tenses as well. Similarly, like ya was showing up, that meant there was a third person, and if a ta shows up, let's look at a ta here. Tosidu ta, ta means that it's a second person, you, and similarly, noon at the beginning means it's we, and so that's why it's saying qalu anu'minu, anu'minu, we believe, should we believe, question mark, right? That's what they're asking a question. As-sofa, okay, the root is seen faha. I didn't bother to break this down for you. Alif lam at the beginning means it's definite, the, and the sofha means fools. Okay, next one. Allah innahum humul soffa walakin la ya'lamun. Again, see, so much of it has been repeated again. The only one that's missing is ya'lamun. Anyway, Allah means in truth, innahum they, hum again, they, as-sofa the fools, walakin and, lakin but, la means no, ya'lamun they know. And Brother Gerrans translates this as, in truth, it is they who are the foolish, but they know not. And that's all there is to it for this one. Ya'lamun. Ya means it's a third person. Um, it's a third person, and Wow Noon means it's a plural. I don't know why I put second person here. This is wrong. This is a third person plural. Okay, ya, because there's a ya at the beginning. Ya means that it's a third person, and Wow Noon means it's a second person. I'm sorry, Wow Noon means it's a plural, and Alam, that's the root. Ain Lam Mim. So just to kind of reiterate a little bit about this ya, noon, and ta business. If there's a ya at the beginning, and that means it's a present tense and it's a third person, okay? If there is a ta at the beginning, that means it's a present tense and it's a second person. And if there is a noon at the beginning, it usually signifies that it's a present tense and it's a first person. So just kind of keep that in mind as we go forward. We're going to look at more of these present tenses and past tenses, and you'll get an idea what's going on. Anyway, that's it for now. God willing, until the next video, peace be upon you.